What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome back.
Hey, what's up, Hartwellness folks?
We got another episode of
Me beating to get cards.
Cards and Convo. We were sitting around and we were looking at Tiara Palmer. Matter of fact, you guys go subscribe to their page.
Yeah, it's Party of Two.
Palmer's Party of Two. Palmer's Party of Two.
Right.
Go subscribe to their page, man. So we got an idea from them. I think one of the questions on the thing was, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? So this inspired this video. We're going to do the top 10 things that we would tell our 18-year-old self.
So 5 from me, 5 from D for a total of 10.
And we'll do it back and forth. We'll go back and forth with it, and we'll do 10 things that we would tell our younger self. And so we're going to start with my beautiful wife. She's going to tell me what she would tell her younger self, and then she's going to tell me why she would tell me her younger self this.
I would tell my 18-year-old self that you need to forgive. And the reason I would say that is that by 18, I had already experienced so much hurt and betrayal and just a lot that I was still holding on to and just trying to be better, if that makes sense. Trying to be better and be okay, but I wasn't okay. And because of all that hurt, I was very much a very dysfunctional person in relationships and in how I approach life. And so I would tell my 18-year-old self to forgive and to release people so that I could make space for what God was bringing into my life and not mess it up or mess up those relationships. What about you? What would you tell your 18-year-old?
My first thing is I would tell my 18-year-old self to take school seriously. Take school seriously. Don't skip classes. Don't be skipping. Well, only skipping classes. I really skip school, but don't be skipping classes. Take school seriously. It start to count in your 9th grade year. Take it seriously.
All right, so I would tell. That was what I'd say to my 18-year-old self. I would tell my, let's say, 13-year-old self that you need to trust that voice on the inside of you. And the reason I would say that is because I was very insecure. So when I would feel certain things or think certain things, if I didn't feel like I could explain it in a way that people would appreciate it or grab a hold of it, then I just didn't, trust it, So I would just kind of go with my friends and what they wanted to do or what they were feeling. And so from 13 forward, man, I got into a lot of mess just because I didn't trust myself and understand that I don't have to have an explanation. If I feel it, that's good enough. So I would definitely tell my 13-year-old self, just trust yourself, and you don't have to explain that to anyone.
I would go and I would tell my younger self, I would say, while you're young, live life, man. Just have fun, live life while you're young. Because you're going to be grown soon enough. And when you become grown, you cannot turn back the hands of time to be young again. So just enjoy it. Just enjoy the time being a child. Enjoy the time being a child, man. Keep your parties right. Just enjoy that time. You can't go backwards. You're going to be grown eventually. But you can't go backwards. So enjoy the time. Just enjoy the time. Have fun.
Okay. I would tell my younger self to definitely strive harder. Like, I was naturally good academically in school, so I didn't really push myself. Let's just say I wasn't an overachiever, and I kind of wish that I had pushed myself a little bit more, really pushed into my potential, really pushed into my potential. I just don't know what I would have discovered on the other side of that at such a young age, to see just what I could do and what I could accomplish. I think it would have boosted my confidence and really kind of set the trajectory for what I would have accepted and what I wouldn't have accepted going forward in life. That makes sense.
I would tell my younger self, definitely to think long term. Think long term. Stop thinking short term. You know, especially when I turned like 17, 18, I was told to think long term. Get a goal, put that goal on paper, write out how you're going to get to that goal, and then watch it happen. Um, and I would also tell them in that think long term, under the same thing, I would tell them that no one's going to hand you anything. You're going to have to go and get what you want. So think long term, go get what you want.
Hmm. It's so funny because I always felt like you were a long-term thinker and a big picture thinker from the beginning.
I was, but I wasn't big on writing out how I was going to get to that long term.
Gotcha.
So if I can write out how I was going to get to that long term, then that's better. That's three.
Yeah, I'm on my fourth one. I would definitely tell my younger self to save money. Man, I wasted so much money. I can't even, like, it's ridiculous how much money I wasted, like, when I think about it. So I would definitely tell myself to save, like, to invest and to really learn about money and finances that are, like, at an early age, as opposed to being old as dirt now and just now really starting to kind of understand money and finances.
For my fourth one, I would tell myself to listen.
Listen, Linda.
Yeah, listen more, talk less, listen more. You know, growing up, you always feel like you know everything. You don't feel like anybody else knows too much. I always tell myself, listen, man. Just everybody has something to show you. Everybody has something that they can teach you. And if it doesn't apply to you, don't do it. But if it does apply to you, try to strive and try to do that thing. They got this saying that they always say, you know, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. So you take in what's for you and you spit out the rest of it. So that's why I would tell my younger self to listen. Listen, son.
The last thing I would tell my younger self is that it's your turn, D. Definitely that the love of God really does conquer everything. I would let that be my source of how I lived and functioned. And I know you're probably thinking like, but it's so young, but you really can. The thing is, I had a heart for God at a young age. I had like an understanding that he existed, but I didn't really know that what I was experiencing with him was enough, you know, like it really was enough. And so I would definitely tell myself that God's love is enough. It really is enough. It's more than enough. And I just really believe that with that, I would not have compromised the person that I am. You know, I'm a very loving person, a very, you know, I want to see good in people. I sincerely feel and sympathize and empathize with people. And I feel like the way God made me and his heart for me, I didn't prioritize that and make that, you know, something that I felt like it just wasn't, again, it kind of probably goes back to one of the other things I would have told myself, but just knowing that really was enough and I didn't have to have an explanation or understand it, but just know that what I feel, what I believe, and what I'm experiencing with him is enough. And like, I would have loved to have seen where that would have went at a young age, as opposed to, you know, waiting and kind of going a side road.
You go. Man, I think I would tell my younger self that this is a hard one for my last one because there's so much other stuff I want to tell my younger
that's what I
self.
was thinking.
So I'm like, man, what do I tell my younger self? Because I would tell myself so much more stuff, man. But I think the one thing that I would actually go in and telling my younger self is, I'll tell my younger self to that there are no boundaries around you. That, man, life has so much to offer. Don't limit yourself to one thing. Don't limit yourself to thinking that, oh, I'm just gonna play basketball, or oh, I'm just gonna be a rapper or whatever. Find that thing that you really want to do, and not just those things that people are putting on you to do. Do what you want to do. No boundaries, no fence. I mean, it's gonna be some walls come up. It's gonna be obstacles get in your way, but knock those things down and just push through. You know what I'm saying? It's a way around them. It's a way around everything. I would definitely tell my younger self that and start investing more. Throw that in there too.
We've essentially shared with you guys, just some things that we would tell our younger selves. There's so much that we've learned, so much we would say to our younger selves. But ultimately, we want you to kind of reflect too. Take that time to look back. And what would you say to your younger self? Because essentially what you're saying to your younger selves are things that you want to have implemented in your life now. Everything we said today are the things that we want present and operating in our lives today. So you need to know what those things are, be mindful of them, and put them into work.
And with that being said, let's game. Let's go. And with that, we're out of here, man.
Hartwell.